Holy Spirit, sometimes it seems as if our love of A Course in Miracles and our desire to awaken separates us from the ones we love and live with. There seems to be a perception on their part and on ours that we ignore them in favor of Course-related activities. What would you share regarding this concern? And, I don't remember the specific day or anything, but I certainly remember there was a time, it doesn't seem to be true anymore, but there was a time when living with Jasmine, when I would be asked to teach like I am now, or to be on the phone with someone, or I would feel that it was time for me to be still, or to read the Course, or to talk to Spirit, and it would seem that Jasmine would want me with her. And it would seem that there was a strong resistance there. And I remember inside of me a lot of frustration, a lot of anger, because I felt like I really needed to be with whatever Course activity I was feeling to be with at the moment. And I felt like I had to fight for that. So this is what this is talking about, is that feeling I had. And Jasmine, of course, also felt like she was being ignored in order for me to teach, or in order for me to read the Course, not spending enough time with her. Mary Ellen is asking, is there sound? Does everyone else have sound? Okay, everyone else has sound. Okay, good. Thanks for answering. Okay, Mary Ellen has sound now. All right, so let's see what Holy Spirit has to say about this. But I'm sure I'm not the only one who's experienced this. I know that others with families have experienced this too. So let's see what Holy Spirit's answer is. A Course in Miracles is a guide to love. But the Course is not love itself. Love comes from the awareness and acceptance of the truth and joy of oneness. And so I said, when the ones we live with do not seem to share our desire to be aware of this truth, it seems that we have to choose between living in the world with them and consistently working on forgiving the world with you. What can you share with us? The answer. Stillness holds the answer that you seek. When you feel torn between loved ones in the world and the love of God, you have forgotten the peace of stillness. To feel torn between any seeming set of options is to view the situation through the ego, through the belief in separateness and separate wills. And I notice that what I say next is, yes, that's clear, but based on where I am now and my memory of where I was in January of 2006, I'm guessing that even though I said, yes, that's clear, the truth is at that time I don't think I fully understood what Holy Spirit was saying. I don't think I had yet learned that when I am still in my mind, that everything is okay. I had not learned, for example, that if I am still in my mind, it would be okay if Jasmine seems to be insisting in the moment that I don't teach. Like now, if that should happen, it hasn't happened in a very long time. She's very accepting of this type of activity now, but if that would happen now, I can see the possibility now of just saying, hey guys, I need to go. I'm sorry. See you, love you, bye, and going and being with her. But 3 years ago, I couldn't even have seen that possibility. It seemed like I had to have it my way. And I didn't know that. I didn't see that. I didn't realize that that's what I was doing. I was fighting for my way. And I wasn't at all still in the mind. In fact, the mind was in some sort of panic that if I didn't have it my way, I was losing something very, very, very important by not being able to teach or not being able to have, quote, quiet time or course study time, that I was losing something. And now I know that's just not true. Now I know that's not possible. It's not possible for me to lose anything. So now I could have the stillness of mind and accept the situation if it would present itself. And then I really didn't understand. So even though I say, yes, that's clear, I don't think it was at the time, because I think I really believed I had to have it my way or I was losing something. And that is not stillness of mind at all. It's exactly like Holy Spirit says here. It's viewing the situation through the ego. So let me just read what Holy Spirit said again, and then we'll continue. Stillness holds the answer that you seek. When you feel torn between loved ones in the world and the love of God, you have forgotten the peace of stillness. To feel torn between any seeming set of options is to view the situation through the ego, through the belief in separateness and separate wills. So I said, yes, that's clear. But in the moments that I feel torn, separate wills do appear to be real. How can I let my perspective be changed? So you can see at that time, I really couldn't imagine not getting my way when my way seemed to be, I need quiet now, I need to read the course now, I need to teach now, I need to be on the phone now. I think, using the language of the course, what I didn't see was that I had made these types of activities special. Maybe as if I needed them more in order to awaken and reach peace. And what I didn't see is that in my insistence on them, in my making them special, I was in that moment throwing away peace. I wasn't yet ready to see that. And so again, I'm saying, in the moments that I feel torn, separate wills do appear to be real. And that was the situation for me at the time. How can I let my perspective be changed? And the Holy Spirit said, your answer is stillness. When you are experiencing through the ego, you are experiencing through the belief in separate wills. When you do this, separate wills seem very real indeed. There is no reason to deny that your experience is your experience. Such denial would be fear, and that would not be helpful. When you seem faced with the experience of separate wills, know that you are having that experience because you are using the filter of ego. I got to tell you, I love this. There's something in me that loves it when Holy Spirit points out that the error is mine. Because if the error is mine, I can do something about it. If I am the one throwing away the peace, then I can change my mind. If the answer from Holy Spirit had been something like, which of course Holy Spirit would never ever in a million years say this would not be Holy Spirit, this would be ego. But if Holy Spirit's answer had been something like, you need to teach your daughter that it's very important that you have this spiritual time with me. you need to teach your daughter that she needs to accept this, I would have been screwed. Because what if my daughter didn't want to learn that? What if she didn't have that willingness? I would be victim to her choice. But fortunately, Holy Spirit never comes back and says you need to teach your daughter. Holy Spirit always, always, always shows me that if there is a lack of peace in my mind, the error is mine. And I'm so grateful for that, because that means I'm victim to no one or nothing. It is really just my choice. What do I want more? Do I want to continue to cling to my way? Or do I want that experience of peace? So Holy Spirit says, when you seem faced with the experience of separate wills, know that you are having that experience because you are using the filter of the ego. Then, be willing to put the filter of the ego aside. Be completely willing to take your mind into silence. You know, the question then comes, what is silence? Which I'm sure Holy Spirit will answer in a moment, but just what exactly is silence? Is this thought silence? But I need my quiet time. That thought is not silence. That thought is the thought that's creating the frustration, the lack of peace. It's kind of funny too, because it seems to be a thought asking for silence, but I need my quiet time. But that is not silence. That is not silence. Okay, I had to peek and see what Lord Blue was saying. I knew he was being ornery, and so I had to peek. He says silence is what men always ask for, and women never give it to men. I knew he was being ornery. I had to look. Okay, so here we go. When you seem faced with the experience of separate wills, know that you are having the experience because you are using the filter of the ego. Then, be willing to put the filter of the ego aside. Be completely willing to take your mind into silence. Let go of all thoughts that tell you that you know anything about the situation. Realize that any knowledge you think you have about the situation is knowledge that you learned through the ego. Therefore, its purpose is to support the ego. Then, remember your purpose and let all prior learned knowledge go. Wow. I mean, just wow. I mean, you know, even the thought, if we go into the thought, I need my quiet time. Really, where does that thought come from? Isn't that thought coming from some prior learning through the ego that I am going to be upset, out of touch with Holy Spirit, unable to cope if I don't get away and get my quiet time? Aren't I just believing all of that? And therefore it's continuing to be true for me. But aren't I just believing all of that in that moment? What if I just let go of thinking I need to separate myself from this person and have quiet time in order to be at peace? What if I let go of thinking that that prior learned knowledge is true? What Holy Spirit, of course, is doing is pointing the way to peace right now, right here. And in fact, look how important it is. Look what Holy Spirit says next. Let me say that again. Let me say that again. Let all prior learned knowledge go. Notice that I did not make any exception in that statement. Wow. Now what that does is that means we have to become aware of when we're holding on to prior learned knowledge. And this is where awareness comes in, and asking Holy Spirit for help can be important, because I submit that we aren't even aware of when we're holding on to prior learned knowledge. In fact, I submit it's probably very easy to have that thought, I need my quiet time, and not realize that's coming from prior learned knowledge that was learned through the filter of the ego. But there's an easy test. The easy test is, am I seeing something separate from me right now? Am I seeing something separate from me? We're talking about the perception of separate wills. And certainly, if I'm seeing my daughter as demanding time with me, when I am thinking that I need quiet time, or I need to be on this phone, or I need to be in Pal Talk, I'm seeing separateness. That's an easy test. If I am seeing separateness, if I am seeing separate wills, then I am listening to prior learned knowledge in my own mind that I learned from the ego. Maybe my prior learned knowledge is telling me it's irresponsible just to walk away from this teaching in the middle of it. That's not a good thing to do. I can't do that. And I'm believing that prior learned knowledge. Or, maybe my prior learned knowledge is telling me it is rude to not give my full attention to the person on the phone when the person on the phone needs me. There's some belief that may even seem completely right. But it's that prior learned knowledge that I learned through the ego. And look what he says again. Let me say that again. Let all prior learned knowledge go. Notice that I did not make any exception to that statement. When you have done this, your mind will be still. When I've let go of all of my prior learned knowledge, when I've accepted that I know nothing, I have no idea what the best thing is to do right now. I have no idea what needs to be. I have no idea what the answer is. None. When you have done this, your mind will be still. Then ask me in complete humility, what am I to do now? The answer will come to you. You may also feel a strong temptation to doubt the answer that comes. The temptation to doubt comes from the belief that you are separate from me. Do not listen to the temptation to doubt. Listen to what you heard first within the stillness. Give your faith and gratitude to that thought, for that is your answer. I think it took a bit of time to learn to trust the answer that I heard. Because it seems like, even though in all sincerity I would take the mind to the point, and you can feel it in the heart when you do it truthfully, take the mind to the point of I know nothing, I do not know what is best. And then say, Holy Spirit, what would you have me do now? And the answer may come, hang up the phone, or the answer may come, ask Jasmine for just 5 minutes. Then the very next thought would often be, you can't hear, Holy Spirit, or that's just what you want. And it took some time to trust myself, to trust that I had gotten to that point of sincere asking, and so therefore the first thing I had heard was the right answer, and by right answer I mean Holy Spirit's answer. But I did get to the point of being able to trust that when I know I've put my desired outcomes aside, when I know I've put my will aside, when I know I hit that open place in the mind, that still place in the mind, and asked and an answer is given, to do that. And to me, that's easy. Now that I know how to do it, that's easy to do. That's easy to do. It is easy to put my will aside and ask Holy Spirit what I am to do. It wasn't easy when I thought I had to have it my way, when I was believing my prior learned knowledge and I thought that I need my still time. I had to learn to let go of those types of thoughts. But then I found it's easy. It's really easy to put my will aside and ask what am I to do and do that. That's not hard at all. And then I said to the Holy Spirit, this is truly great. Thank you. But I have one more question. The work described above sounds like it will take time. And again, that was just coming from my own doubt of the answer. If I had been able to trust immediately, it would not have taken time. It took time for me to learn to trust, which is what I heard Dove saying as I was coming in the room, that sometimes it seems to take time to learn to trust. So that's what it took. It took time to learn to trust. So I said, this is truly great. Thank you. But I have one more question. The work described above sounds like it will take time. It will take time to let go of my will. It will take time to let go of my prior learned knowledge. It will take time to get to stillness. It will take time. Sometimes I seem to need to make a decision very quickly. For example, I could have someone seeking help and expressing concerns to me on the phone while Jasmine is pulling on my arm and asking me to hang up and spend time with her. And that's a type of situation we used to have here a lot, a few years ago. I'm sure it was a symbol of the conflict in my own mind. But I would be on the phone with someone. The person might even be crying, describing whatever was upsetting to them at the moment and looking for help. And meanwhile, I've got Jasmine saying, Mom, come on, hang up, come on, and literally pulling on my arm. These are the kinds of situations I found myself in. And I said, how do I find stillness among the hectic, pressure-filled noise? And Holy Spirit said, remember quickly that hectic, pressure-filled noise is a perception, and accept that it is nothing more than that. Then ask, what is the answer now? In other words, Holy Spirit put it right back on me. If you need an answer quickly, all right, then you need to quickly get to stillness. You need to quickly remember that you don't know anything. You need to quickly remember that you do not have the answer yourself. And you know what Holy Spirit isn't agreeing with? He isn't agreeing that it has to take time. And you know what? It doesn't. That's completely up to me. That's up to my own choice for resistance. If I choose to cling to that thought, but this phone call is important. If I choose to cling to that thought, Jasmine is being annoying as heck. If I choose to cling to those thoughts, if I choose to believe this is too hectic, I can't be still now, well, then it's going to take time, but that's because of the choice I made. It's not because of the situation. It's not because I'm victim to anything. It's not because anything else is holding me back. It's because I'm choosing not to follow the Holy Spirit's recommendation. I'm choosing to keep right on believing those thoughts in my mind, and I am not choosing to go still. The truth is we can go still instantly. Instantly. As soon as a situation seems to arise that is upsetting to us, we can realize it is our perception. We're the one listening to ego. We can put aside all thoughts. We can go still instantly and ask for help. So the Holy Spirit is not agreeing with me that it has to take time. He's telling me that I can do this. He's saying if you need an answer quickly, then remember quickly. Make the decision quickly to be still, if that's what you want. Remember quickly that hectic, pressure-filled noise is a perception, and accept that it is nothing more than that. Then ask, what is the answer now? That will be enough. Trust the answer that comes. It is the best for everyone.